juggle between different things. For example, for me, you have, let's say, I have my personal life, I have my professional life, and have my family life. It's always challenging to find the right time to create content. For instance, what I want to do today here is to share with you the way I create content. Sometimes people tell me, how are you doing all those things, having two kids, having a job, etc. I want to share with you the process that I have set up, which makes sure that I can create content on a consistent basis. Without further ado, let's launch the intro. Okay, let me share my screen and we can start. This one, share. Okay, slideshow here. And we are ready to go. I put the chat here to make sure that I'm not missing anything. If you are joining from YouTube or LinkedIn, you can just say hi in the comment section. Okay. Using my highlighter. Okay, this is not what I was looking for. Okay. Here we are. What is my content creation workflow secret that I will share with you for free? Without further ado, let's start. As always, this is in part of the series of the Storytap, let's say, framework that I created, which is a storytelling framework that you can use when you are telling your stories, because once you have, let's say, the framework, you don't have to think about if you are delivering all the right bits into your story. Make sure that you have one framework. It can be the Storytap framework or any other framework. The most important part is that you have a framework to revert to each time that you are trying to tell a story, in order to always nail down, let's say, the bits, the different bits of your story. Just for you who are here maybe the first time, I will remind you the Storytap framework. So S as set the stage, T as trigger a need here, O as offer solution, R as reveal obstacles, Y as eliminate the path, T as transformation, A as call to action, and P as impact. And then after I have woven, let's say, the but therefore between each of those bits of the Storytap framework, I have done so far, I think, 9 lives talking about the Storytap framework applied to different scenarios. Like, for example, I have shared how to use Storytap for personal stories, how to use Storytap for self-reflection, how to use Storytap for stories for kids, and many other frameworks. You can find all the previous lives in my YouTube channel or on LinkedIn Live, also on my profile. And you can download all the material that I'm sharing right now if you follow the link storytap.xyz. Today, I will share with you the process that I have set up to make sure that when I'm creating, I am doing it in a way that make sure that I have some ideas to share, and then after I have a way to follow to make sure that each time when I want to sit down and write, I have an idea. Okay, let's go. Like this, and then after. This is something that is very important, and this will be, let's say, the framework. If you just take a screenshot and you stay here, you have all my secrets, because this is basically everything that I'm doing in when I'm telling stories. Just 3 steps. I call it the C cube framework. here. So the first step is to consume content. The second step is to curate content. And the third step into create content. And that's it. That's the magic framework. Nothing less, nothing more. Very simple. The C-Cube framework. You consume content, you curate content, and then you create content. So we can say, okay, goodbye. Thank you, Mad. It was great spending so much time with you. Here you have it. Yet, if you want to deeper and have more of my secrets, I invite you to stay with me as we will go deeper on each of those steps, and I will share with you what is the process that I'm using and how you can use it also to create content on a consistent way. Next slide. Let me just do like this. Move to the next one. And here I will just like this and clear here. Okay. So the first one is you have to consume for inspiration. This is something that is very important because at the beginning of your content creation journey, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to come up with new ideas because we are in 2025 and spoiler alert, there are many things that have already been talked about, created in many different forms. It can be books, it can be videos, movies, articles. I mean, you have now ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude AI. You can really access the information easily. This is something that is very important. It means that you don't have to always stress yourself to say, okay, I have to come up always with an original content. And I will show you in the next step what you can do in order to take, let's say, a content that you have found in the internet, which has inspired you, and then after you create kind of original content. So for the first step, which is the consume part, first what you have to do is consume content. I'm not talking about doom scrolling for sure. I'm talking about, let's say, you can read books, you can consume, let's say, YouTube videos. You can also have a podcast and blogs. I mean, wherever you, let's say, feel comfortable, let's say, consuming your content, it can be podcast, wherever the source is, that is not, let's say, the most important part. The most important part is that while you are consuming content, to make sure that if you found something that inspires you, you make sure that you are capturing it somewhere. This is the second brain idea from Tiago Forte, for instance. This is the single most important thing is that you don't just consume like doom scrolling on TikTok or YouTube, whatever. You consume, let's say, in a conscious way, meaning that you consume content, and if you find some content that resonates with you, you can, let's say, capture that content somewhere. Okay, there are many different tools to capture content today in 2025. I share some with you here. For sure, there are many, many, many more tools to digitally capture your content. For example, pen and paper, the old and most classical one. You have a notebook that you have with you every time, and each time you have an idea, you open your notebook and you write down the idea. Or each time that you are inspired by a video or content that you consume, okay, you open that notebook and just write things down. You can use also Google Keep, for instance, if you are on the Google ecosystem like myself. Sorry. You can use Apple Notes. You can use Notion, for instance. You can use WhatsApp, because in WhatsApp there is a trick. I don't know if you know it, but I will share it with you. In WhatsApp, you can send a message to yourself. Basically, what it means is that maybe you are consuming content, you are reading an article on your mobile phone, and then you say, okay, this article is really important. I want to capture it somewhere, what you can do is hit the share button on where you are consuming the content. You select WhatsApp, and then in WhatsApp, you can search yourself, and then you send it to yourself. This is a way that I use to capture content, one of the ways. Spoiler. Then after, you have Notebook LM also, which is a great, if you are not using Notebook LM, you are missing out big. Notebook LM is a product from Google, part of the Gemini ecosystem, and it's really one of the best tools for me when we are talking about AI. It's the best tool for me in terms of AI and very easy to use. So, if I summarize, you have to consume content in a conscious way. When you consume content, you consume it wherever you want. The most important part is really to capture your content. I try to make it really very, very important. Capturing your content, the content that you are consuming is key. Because sometimes you can say, okay, I will think about it later because now I'm consuming it. I remember the three ideas that the author is trying to convey. Trust me, you will not think about it 5 minutes after. Okay, now that you have consumed content, you have captured that content, let's move to the second step, which is to curate content. But first, I will share with you how I am capturing content. As you can see here in the slide, this is the example of how I capture content personally. I use Google Keep, and in Google Keep, when, for instance, I see an article, I take a screenshot here, and I have some quotes, I have some YouTube videos, and all of the things that you see here are some ideas of articles. It's not, let's say, something that I brainstormed myself and say, okay, let me come up with genuine content. It's really, I consume content on the internet, and each time I find something that I feel like resonated with me, I capture it in my small second brain, which is Google Keep. I'm using also other tools, but my main tool is Google Keep and WhatsApp, basically. Those are the two tools that I use to capture content that I'm consuming on the internet. What we will do is that each time I share with you, let's say, how to do, let's say, to consume, for instance, I will share with you an example of how I'm doing it so that it can give you some ways to do it also. If you feel like you don't know where to start, you can do like I'm doing. You can steal my workflow. It's for free. I'm sharing it. And I'm curious if you have different ways of capturing the content that you consume. Make sure to share it in the comment section below on YouTube or on LinkedIn. Okay, let me just clear this and we move to the next step. The next step is curate content. This is something that is very important. I just do the passo. Here, what I did not say maybe in the beginning, I'm talking here more about articles that me I'm writing. The content I'm creating in this process generally is not YouTube videos, it's more articles, blog articles that I write, and then after I publish on my LinkedIn newsletter with more than 1,000 subscribers. I'm also publishing it on medium.com and on Substck. On all those three platforms, I'm sharing the same content, and this is the way I use to be able to come up with new ideas and to come up with a new article to share every week. I used to do it every week for more than 3 years. Now I'm doing it on a monthly basis because of some personal constraints with my kids who are now older, and I spend more time with them during the weekends. So everything that I'm sharing here is a way to get ideas, and then after, once you have captured those ideas, you can use them to generate, for instance, for me, articles. It can be also YouTube videos for you, ideas of YouTube videos. It can be whatever content that you are trying to create. What I'm trying to convey, which is really very important, is that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The second step, which is curate. Curate meaning that first you have capture your content, and then after, what you can do is categorize or cluster your content. So this is once you have captured your content, for instance, in Google Keep, on Notion, you can use also Apple Notes or Notebook LM. For instance, for me, I'm using Google Keep. What I do is that I have some labels, and on all those labels, I put the different ideas in terms of topics. I know that Notion does it better, but I never really jumped into Notion. My bad, maybe. I like it simple, and I love the simplicity, the constraints of simplicity of Google Keep. And I'm also using Notebook LM, which is a great tool that if you are not using it, you are really missing out big. Once you have categorized your content, then after you select the content that resonated with you, and then after you will start, let's say, preparing the creation process. So once you have selected your content, you can let's say have kind of outline your articles. You can let's say take part of the content that have inspired you, and then after you can use, for instance, Notebook LM to dig deeper. You can still use pen and paper, which is something that is very good even in 2025. You can use Google Docs or Notion and many other tools. The idea is that here you have categorized many things, okay? Then after here you say, okay, now from all the things that I have categorized, I will select, let's say, a part or a sub-part of something. Then after, I will make sure that the part that I have selected here is something that I can use. Now let's see an example of how I am doing it. Okay, let's move to the next slide to give you an example. So this is an example. I will share, I just go out of the present mode, go here in my drive. So you can see here my drive, and here is, I go a little bit up. I have a folder which is called Mad blog here. And here you can see all the draft articles that I have, meaning that I have done the selection process. And once I have selected it, I use AI, mainly Notebook LM and Gemini, to outline some articles for me. Let's say, for example, this one, it will be in yellow. So when you see as it is in yellow, so what I did is that I selected the content, and then after I asked Gemini to create an outline for me for a blog of 1,000 words, and I gave it, let's say, a framework, let's say, to guide me through. It's like my mentor, let's say, in terms of writing. That it's not writing the article for me, because I will share with you, let's say, how in the question process. Yet here you can see that it have given me an introduction. It's asking me some questions, etc. And it means that here I'm not starting from scratch. It's this article was inspired by a new term, which is called, let's say, which is called the bunny. And then after, okay, so here I have, let's say, the draft in yellow because it's AI generated. Then after, I will come here and I will write my articles and follow the guidance of Gemini. So this is a way to use AI to augment you and not use AI to replace you. I have always, let's say, 4 or 5 articles in draft, This helps me really not to have the pressure to create, meaning that each time I publish one article, I draft another one. And I do it even the other way around, meaning that I will first draft an article and then after publish one. In my basket, I always have 5 drafts. Let's say that I want to publish an article. Before publishing, let's say the draft, one of the 5 drafts that I have, I force myself to write a 6th draft. Then after I publish one draft, and then I have still 5 drafts in my basket. I think this helps me personally to don't have the pressure to always start from scratch. Having that backlog of articles is very convenient for me, and also it helps me when, for example, I publish an article, it become viral. I don't try to replicate that article because I'm already moving on to another article. I'm more really focused on the process and not trying to control the outcome, because whether or not an article can resonate with the audience, I mean, I am doing my best, but I cannot control whether or not an article can be viral or not. I'm not trying. I'm just following the process. Uh, yeah, I will not say religiously, but that's the idea. Okay, here here is the way I create my articles. So first you have consumed some content, and here you have curated some content. If then we move to the next step, which is the create part. The create part, I try to always keep the same things in the same spot, so that really you can see the creation process. I will really spend a little bit more time on this creation process. I call it here creation for addition. This is something that is really very, very important for me, because, as I said earlier, I am not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to come up with novel ideas. The way I do is that I take 2 different ideas from 2 different articles that have inspired me. I mix them together, and then I add my own perspective. I think really in the age of AI, um, information is cheap. What is really expensive is the transformation, meaning how you can add your own experience to the information, how you can, let's say, add your perspective, how you can add your lenses to that information to make it reflect your reality. For me, this is really what is key today in the age of AI. Okay, as I said, in terms of creating, here, as I said, this is the third step. So for me, creating, there are different steps. So you have to write. I will share you how I write. You have to edit. I will share with you how I edit. You have to publish. And yeah, and this is something that is important. And I think also that many steps that many people forget or neglect is the part of publicize. Okay, so write an article. Um, so for me, okay, I will share with you after what I use in the next slide. What is important here is that each of those steps, it's important that you do them a different day, meaning that you have really to have some time between, let's say, when you write, when you edit, when you publish. Maybe when you publish and you publicize, you can do it in the same day. What I recommend, and I have read a lot of let's say articles from people saying that you write one day, okay, you let it rest for 1 or 2 days, or at least for 24 hours. Then after you come the day after and you edit. When you are editing, it's maybe interesting to For instance, to edit in a different tool if possible. I mean, for example, if you have written in your laptop to try to edit in your tablet, sometimes editing in the phone is not really convenient. But maybe if you are writing, let's say, at home, you could try to change the environment and go outside in a Starbucks, etc., and edit in a different environment. What it does is that it gives you, let's say, a new and fresh perspective on your writing, so that you can see it as let's say, with fresh eyes. Because if you write and then just after you edit, there will be a lot of mistakes that you will not see. And this is why it's really important to give time to your brain between when you are writing and when you are editing, and even when you are publishing. Because sometimes, for instance, for me, I'm publishing on LinkedIn, I'm publishing on Medium, I'm publishing on Substack. It takes me not a lot of time, yet it takes me sometimes to be able to tailor my content for each platform using the editing tools of each platform. Then after you publish, and what is really important is you publicize. On Substack, you have the notes that you can create. It's like a kind of a news feed. It's not just you hit write your article, you publish it, and then after you hope that people will see it. It's really important that also you market your content. You can do it also on Medium, where you can share a friendly link of your article if you want to share it outside of Medium, or for people who don't have, let's say, Medium subscription. And even on LinkedIn, when you have your article or your newsletter, you can also create a post for your article or the new edition of your newsletter, and then after you have to like it, to comment it, etc. So those are some strategies. There are some strategies that I use personally, and if you have some other strategy, I'm curious. Let's drop them down in the comment section and let's have the discussion. Coming back to this step creation for addition, let me share with you the way I do it. The way I do it on my side, I write always in Google Docs. It's free, meaning, what I mean is free. It means that it is in the cloud. When you are writing, I remember a friend who used to write, let's say, his post directly on LinkedIn, and one day he was writing his post in long format, and then after he struck a bad combination on his keyboard, and then after it moves to the previous page or the next page. I don't remember the details, and then after he lost, let's say, all the posts that he has created because he's writing directly on the platform. That is one of the reasons that I don't recommend that you write directly in the platform, because if for I mean, normally in Medium or Substack you have it saved, but for me you should not write directly on a platform, because the main reason is that if you write on a platform directly, your audience is always rented, and maybe some days your account can be hacked or blocked or deleted, whatever, for whatever reason. You can lose, let's say, the content, the access to the content that you have created in different platforms, and because your audience is rented on those different platforms, it means that it's really important that you own your content, the content that you are creating. And the easiest way to own the content that you are creating is to always write on Google Docs. I recommend Google Docs because it's on the cloud. You can write from anywhere, from any computer, even if it's not you don't have your laptop with you, you can use it. And that's also one of the advantages of using Google Docs, It means that you don't always have to, if you have it locally on your computer, you have always to bring your computer everywhere. If you have it on Google Docs, you can log in from anywhere in the world. You access your, let's say, your Google Drive, and then after you can write. This is one of the main advantages and reasons that I really recommend that you create your content in a platform that you own, and the platform that you own, the very cheap one. By the way, it's free because with Google, if you have a Gmail account, you have 15 gigabytes free. It means that you can write many articles. I really recommend that you write on Google Docs. This is something that is really important. You write first without trying to edit at the same time. As I said, writing is your creative part, and editing is more your not creative part. I don't know which part it is. It's not the creative part. It's the part which is like more the editing part. Is your samurai part. Let's say writing is your like your artist side, and the samurai is like slashing everything. So personally, I always write on Google Docs. I always I write my articles on draft, and when I'm writing, I always activate the do not disturb on my all my devices, be it my phone, my laptop, to not to be disturbed by any notification. Then after, once I have written an article, as I said, I will always let it rest. And then after, what I do is, for example, I write, let's say, the sixth article, and I want to publish the first one. What I will do is, okay, I will go then edit another article that I have written a long time ago. And for the editing part, I'm using, let's say, some tools to do, let's say, some grammar or spell check. I'm not, as you can see, a native English speaker, yet I create all my content in English because it forces me to uh, to use simple words because I don't have a very rich vocabulary in English as I have in French, which is my native language. And writing in English is a constraint for me. It forces me to explain complex things in with very simple words. I think that is the advantage of people having English as a second or third language compared to people who are English native. It was like if I wanted to write in French, I will have so many ideas, so many ways to express things that it will be very complicated, and I'm sure that it would be not very digest. That's why I'm writing in English. It means also that I have some issues with is it on the table, in the table, at the table, and I have let's say some many mistakes that I do when I'm writing. Yet I don't care because I know that after when I write, I'm in the zone, I'm in the flow. I just sit and write. I do the minor spell check from Google Docs. This is the only thing that I do when I'm writing. I deactivate my Grammarly, let's say, function in Google Docs when I'm writing because I don't want it to try to propose me some to correct some words, whatever. I really focus on just putting things out there, being in the zone, and making sure that I put things as much as possible without any distraction. And I think when you are writing and editing, it's disturbing the flow. It has to be like water, it has to be very smooth. Okay, then once I have written my article, then the next step is the editing part. And in the editing part, what I use the spell check from Google Docs. I also use Grammarly. I have a paid subscription for Grammarly because it's let's say a tool that helps me let's say check all my writing, the grammar, the sentences. It can propose me shorter ways to do it, etc. I really like Grammarly. It's like my English assistant. I cannot really write my articles in English without Grammarly. It's just not possible. So I really recommend you to have it, even for English native speakers. I have a lot of friends because I'm part of a lot of Discord, and all those people also use Grammarly to check their writing. Then after, what I use also is Gemini. We'll try to clean a little bit here. Okay. I use Gemini also. Once I have, let's say, first done the spell check in Google Docs, I have run it through Grammarly. I use Gemini, and I submit my article to Gemini and ask it to critique my article. And then after it can, okay, say it can be like a kind of a review of my article. And I'm not asking it to write my article. I'm saying, okay, this is the article that I have written. I just drop the article, and then after it will tell me, okay, this is good. Maybe this you can write it this way or that way. I don't use it for spell check because generally I use Grammarly and it's okay. I'm using it more to see if there are some holes in the articles that I'm doing. I use it also to see, for instance, if really I'm missing something, and to be kind of my reviewer. Then once, let's say I'm happy with my articles. Um, when I write my articles, I have, let's say, one Google Doc for one article. Okay, so this is let's say the single articles. Then after, I compile all my articles in a single Google Doc, and also after when I'm publishing. So this is what you have here. I have a single Google Doc with all my articles. I will show you after, and I have also a Google Sheet here. Once I have published it, I collect all the links to all my articles. This I will share with you. Let me clean this, and then after I will show you the way I do it. Okay, so this is where you can see I have written already I have written and published 220 articles. So I have 221 up to 229 in terms of draft. Some I have already written and edited. So this one, for instance, I have written and edited, but I did not have, let's say, the title and all of that. Then here, yeah, I will do the spell check. As you can see, it's not done yet. I will use Grammarly to do the spell check, and then after I will use Gemini to help me come up with a title, the hashtags that I can use based on the content of my article. I use Gemini for that also to make sure that I am adding the right hashtags on Medium, for instance, where you can add 5 hashtags, and on Substack also where you can add some hashtags. So this is the draft of my article, and then after I can show you. For instance, I have my articles. So I have my articles from let's say the first 100 articles, then from 100 to 200 here. So here is where all the articles that I have published from, let's say, from the 101 article to 200 article. And you see here, I just put for me, do not add content. But you can see that here each time I publish an article, I try to, this is really a way to own my content. I retrieve, let's say, the Medium link, the Medium friendly link, the LinkedIn newsletter link, the LinkedIn post link. And all of this you can see here. And here I have the compilations of all my articles from 101 to 200. I do this because first I own my content, so I can have all the content in one document. Maybe tomorrow I will use AI to do some stuff with it. I don't know, but at least I have all my articles from 100 to 200 in one single file. Then after, what I do also is I have a Google Sheet here, not this one. This one is more for my neighbors. Open. Okay. Okay, this one. So you see here that I have a kind of a database with all my articles from the first one that I published let's say in 2019, the 5th of October. So here for each article, what I do is that I have the title, I have the link Medium, LinkedIn newsletter, Substack. Then after I have, let's say, I used to have a blog, but I stopped. And here I have, let's say, the date of publication. And here you can see that I have a database of all my articles with all the links to those articles in one single file. I don't know if I will need it one day, but I have built this database as I was publishing my articles. I have them everywhere here in one single file with all the links to all articles. This is really something that I encourage you to do because it gives you really the opportunity to own your content, and then maybe tomorrow I can automate it by giving this article to AI and okay, tell it, I don't know, write my book by taking the most the most, let's say, by compiling the most successful article based on my analytics on Substack or Medium, and I will take only, let's say, the top 10 articles, and I can compile very easily, let's say, that book. So really, this is something that is really important. I really emphasize the fact that write your articles on a platform that you own, and when you are publishing, always build a database of all the links to your articles so that you can access them easily tomorrow. And you don't have, if you have many articles, like for me, I have more than 220 articles. If I wanted to go to see each article on Medium, I have to go to 220 links. Here I have all the links in one single database. This is something that is really, really important. Let's go back here. So I have shared with you the way I publish. So I always store my articles ready to publish in a Google Doc with all my articles and the database that I shared with you. Then after, I publish the same articles. I publish the same article on LinkedIn on my newsletter. I publish the same article on Medium. I publish the same article on Substack. I think sometimes someone was asking me, are you allowed to publish, let's say, on Medium, for instance, an article that you have published already elsewhere? The answer is yes, as long as you are not stealing content from someone on Medium and republishing the article. If it is your work and you are really happy with it, you can share, let's say, your articles on different platforms, be it on LinkedIn, Medium, or Substack. If you want to a deep dive, let's say, on how I, let's say, either edit, write, or publicize my articles, just let me know in the comment section below. I will be happy to create another video talking about that. Then after, as I said, it's really important to publicize your content. If you have, let's say, a big audience of hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, you just create a post that will reach, let's say, all your audience. But on LinkedIn or Medium or Substack, the algorithm is you cannot just let the algorithm do it. You have to be your own marketing agency, let's say. And the way I do it is, for instance, before I publish an article or on LinkedIn, I will go interact a lot, like 10 minutes before I publish my article. I will go and interact with people, provide some comments, provide some, like some content, so that, let's say, the algorithm see and people also see that I am there. I publish my content. Then after, I like my content, I share my content, and I interact also like 10 minutes with the different contents from different people. I like some posts, I comment on some posts by providing, let's say, valuable comments, or not just saying something basic like, oh, it's great, whatever. And the aim is really that before you publish your content on LinkedIn, at least, you interact a little bit before with the algorithm. You say, hey, algorithm, I'm here. You publish your content. People that you have interacted with will come to your profile, and then they will see what you are doing, and they will generally what they do, because I do the same. I go to someone's profile on LinkedIn and look the last article that they have post that they have done, and then I like it, and I provide some comments so that you will do the same. It's a way also um, to make sure that your content will reach out more people. You can also share, let's say, a link to your article on X or other platforms. So this is really something that is really important, and don't really forget to publicize your content, because it's really something that is paramount. And after, now I hope that you have a very clear view on the way that I create my content. Something that is really very simple to do, not very complicated. And here I'm sharing with you the way I do it. Here is my newsletter on LinkedIn. Uh, if you are watching this from LinkedIn, you can go to my profile, and if you want to support my work, you can subscribe to my newsletter. First, for sure, you have to read it and see that you find it valuable. If you find it valuable, I would love to have you as a community member of my Madception, my community on LinkedIn. And so this is my LinkedIn newsletter. So as you can see, I have, I think I have more than 101, let's say, subscriber people receiving my LinkedIn article every week-ish or 2 weeks. Now I'm more doing it on a monthly on a monthly basis, but you get the idea. Here is, let's say, my Medium profile, where I have more than okay. Let me just reset this. Okay, and then after do this. So here is my Medium profile when I have almost 600 followers. And here you can see, let's say, my articles also, meaning that I also publish my articles the same on Medium, and also I publish the same on LinkedIn. And if we go back here, and I have also a Substack. On Substack here, I'm publishing, let's say, the same articles. On Substack here, I have two newsletters, the Mod Substack, which is more related to all the articles that I publish here. And I have, let's say, another newsletter. So I'm growing my Substack. I have just 24 subscribers, but it's okay. I'm not trying to win the game with it. It's more to share. And then I have another Substack newsletter, which is more related to the Storytap framework and all the ways that I'm sharing on creating content. So here I have 3 subscribers, as you can see. Not a big audience, but I'm at least I'm not, let's say, I'm present all the major platforms that are important for me, and I'm using the same content in different platforms. I joined Substack recently, so it's okay for me if I don't have as many subscribers as I have on LinkedIn or on Medium. Yeah, so that's it. The C3 or C cube framework, as I shared with you today. Consume content. Uh, this is something that is really important. Consume content consciously. Curate content. Um, Select, capture the content that resonated with you. Always capture, 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 capture. Really important to capture the content that resonated with you. And then after, create. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. What is really important is that you take inspiration from other people that have done things. You mix, let's say, two things that have inspired you, and then after you add your own take, your own view on the subject, and then after you share it with the world. This is something that is really simple. It does not require a lot of energy to always try to come up with something new. And also, I have found that it's something that helped me create more because I have a system that I know that I have to go through when I'm creating, and then it's less mental energy for me because I have a framework for my storytelling. I have a system that helps me consume, capture, and create content. And when I'm creating my content, I always use the same tools. I always first write, then after edit, then after publish, and after publicize. And I always create content on platforms that I own. This is something that is really important. And this is a simple framework that you can use today. Start creating now. There is a saying that people will use on every situation. This is kind of cliche. It goes like this. The best time to create was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. So start creating. I think it's important that you know that it's not something that is impossible. What is important is that you create systems so that you don't have you don't have, let's say, a lot of mental burden, because when you sit and you create, you have, let's say, a system that guides you and you don't have to think about it. All the energy that you have is in the creative process, something that is really important, and I really encourage you to do that. And one more thing. As always, let me clear this. If you have found this content valuable, make sure to hit the like button and to share it with your friends and people around you, so that we all share our stories. My aim on doing all of this, I'm not doing it for fame or for getting money. I'm really doing it so that I every one of us can, let's say, bring their shine into the world, meaning that each of us, we have a story that we want to share with the world, a story that could impact the next person just after us. And the best way today to do it is to create on the internet, because once you have put something out there in the digital world, good or bad, uh, it stays there forever. So take that in mind, and always make sure that what you are creating, you are feeling comfortable having it on on the first page of your local newspaper. And then after, as I said, you can scan the QR code to follow me on LinkedIn, or to go to my Substack, where I will share, let's say, the deck of slides that I'm presenting right now with you. And if you have some questions, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Substack, or even on my YouTube channel. I hope that you really found value on what I shared with you today. And then after, I have some very exciting live sessions that I will do in the coming weeks and months about plan writing in English, meaning that I will share with you in 5 modules, something that is very expensive if you have to do it kind of a course. I will do it for free because, as I said, my aim is really to equip people with the right information to sell their transformation. Because I think today with the ChatGPT and all the AI stuff, information is everywhere. What is missing is the human connection, and that human connection, we can only have it through, let's say, selling our transformation and also sharing our story. So without further ado, I wish you a very happening wherever you are in the world. I see you, I feel you, and I love you. Yes, I know what my wife is just sitting there and she's wondering what is he saying. Yes, I see you, I feel you, and I love you. Until then, I wish you a very nice happening.